Hello guys, welcome to my channel Firestorm. In this, uh, let's have a tour of Angular application development. So we are going to use three different technologies. The first one is DBMS, which is nothing but the backend. Then middle layer Web API 2.0 using C#.NET, and the third one is Angular 7. So for this, we have to install some of the softwares like SQL Server Express Edition, that is only the free edition, Visual Studio Community 2019 for web API development, Visual Studio Code for Angular application development, Node.js in order to install different npm packages for our Angular application, Postman for testing our web APIs, and Angular CLI to generate different components and services in Angular application. In the first phase, we'll see how to create database, how to create tables, and we'll also see how to manage the relationship between those tables. The second phase is nothing but of middleware creation, which is nothing but the web API, but we are going to get the data from the database into our web API using Entity Framework. So we'll also see how to create Entity Framework project and how to create object models or from our database using SQL connection string. Then we will see how to create Web API 2.0 project. We will also see how to install Unity container. Unity container is nothing but using which we can use the dependency injection mechanism for our controllers. We'll also see how to install CORS for cross browser request, and we'll also see how to install Entity Framework into our web API project. Once we have done this, we will see how to reference our Entity Framework project into our web API project. Then we will see how to create different models into your web API project. Then we will see how to create repository, then interface for each repository, and then we'll develop different controllers for our web API project. So basically the web API project will be a repository pattern based web API. Then finally we'll see how to use dependency injection in web API 2.0, and then we're gonna create some REST methods such as put, post, get, etc. into our controller. And then we'll also see how to enable our IIS on Windows 10, and then we're gonna deploy our web API on IIS. Then phase 3 is testing web APIs using Postman. So we'll see how to create environment in Postman, how to create collection in Postman. Collection is nothing but collection of different web APIs which you will store into collection, and then later you can use anytime, so that every time you don't need to write down the URL, passing parameters. Every time you don't need to do it, you just create once and you can use it anytime you want. Then we'll create some of the APIs into our collection, and then we'll see how to test those APIs and debug into our Visual Studio for Web API 2.0. Then finally comes the Angular development. So we'll see how to create new application of Angular. We'll also see how to integrate admin LT template, which is nothing but one admin panel available totally free. Then we'll see how to implement core module. Core module is nothing but the module which contains the component and services which will be used into different components of your Angular application. Then we'll also see how to configure the core module. Then we'll see how to create different models into your Angular application, and how to implement services into Angular application. Then we'll see how to use toaster service. NGX toaster is nothing but one of the npm package we use to have a toast for different messages. Message types will be like success, warning, error, or information. Then we'll see how we can implement dashboard module and create one dashboard component in which we're gonna route different components of the dashboard. Then we'll see the implementation of landing module, and we also gonna generate one component for landing module. Landing module is nothing but the user side module which contains login component and register component. Then we'll see the router implementation in Angular application. So we're gonna have our routes as lazy loading type. So each module will be lazy loaded, so on demand. So once your application comes to the browser, it will not load all the modules at a time, but it will load modules one by one as per the user's demand. Then we'll see the implementation of login module component. Then we're gonna implement register component, and then we're gonna have a routing mechanism inside the landing module which will route between login component and register component. So once we have developed the front end side for the user, then we're gonna implement the dashboard components. So for this particular demo, we're gonna have one user component which will list the users, and another component is to add the user. So we're gonna develop both the components, and we're gonna have one internal routing inside the dashboard module. Then we'll also look into authentication based routing using AuthGuard. It is nothing but different users with different roles can access only specific pages of your Angular application. This is kind of important. And then finally we'll see how to build Angular project, and we gonna also see how to deploy your Angular application project on IIS. So keep watching my video. If you have not subscribed my channel, please subscribe and ring the bell icon, so that next time whenever I'm gonna upload any new video, you're gonna have a notification in your device. Thank you very much.